Hello everyone, hope that you're doing well today, and in this video I've got some seeds right here that I'm going to be planting outside in the garden. So it's around mid-August and I'm going to be planting some seeds for a fall harvest. So if you want to see what I am planting, then come and join along and continue watching. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to focus on is getting all of this dirt. I have 2 bags. I have like, I don't know, maybe a quarter or a third of that is missing. And then we're going to fill them up into these containers, and I'm going to see how much I have and how much I can wind up filling up. And then also there's some stuff over here that I'm going to wind up just pulling up and replanting something else completely new. Same with these sunflowers, and then same back over in the very far back where those 2 sunflowers are. I'm going to be ripping them up. And as you can see, there are a whole bunch of peppers that are ready for me to harvest, and I will be doing that at the end of the video. I'm also going to take what's out of there, the violas and the pansies that are over there as well. I'm going to be taking them out and planting something different. So I'm going to get to filling these pots up with some soil. So inside of these smaller containers, we're going to be planting some herbs, and they're going to be parsley, sweet basil, and some cilantro. So it may not be so easy to tell, but there are a bunch of mosquitoes outside, and they started to really get to me towards the end of this day, and you will see later on that I take a break and I continue the next day because of how intense they are. So I have 2 different types of soils. The one that was already opened is a Miracle-Gro brand soil, and the one that I had opened up on camera in the white bag, that was, I think it was like an organic brand. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was more of a mulch texture than I thought it would be. But I think the plants will still be okay and they will grow the same. Okay, I was able to fill up all of the containers. I didn't know if I was able to, and I still have a little bit of dirt left. It's not too much. And so now what I'm going to focus on is just removing all of these plants, and then soon I will start to plant some seeds. Just realized I think these are from the violas that I have growing over there, and they were in the other container. It's pretty neat. So the soil for this year is not really the best, and so when it comes to the soil that I'm going to have next year, I will be taking out most of the soil in all the raised beds and in all of the containers that have been sitting there for a couple of years now, and I'm going to replenish it with new soil. And I'm probably going to do that when it starts to become spring of next year. And if you can see, my clothes keep changing a little bit with each scene, each shot. And that's because the mosquitoes, like how I said earlier, were crazy. So yeah, this is where I had to stop. I didn't get to plant any seeds that day, but I will continue and I will show what happens the next day. Hello everyone, this is the second day. This is the next day, and I had to take a break from outside because the mosquitoes were absolutely insane. I told myself, all right, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and I will do it earlier in the day, not so late in the afternoon, because that's when I did it yesterday, and they were insane. So there are a couple of more things that I need to rip out of here, and then soon I will be planting the seeds. I'm happy to see that it is a lot sunnier today versus yesterday, so the mosquitoes weren't as bad. There were a couple, but not anything compared to what it was yesterday, thankfully. I actually think I'm gonna leave these in. These are the seeds that had fallen off of the pods from the old plant. And they're starting to grow. Here are the seeds that I got earlier, maybe like a couple months ago from the plant. And I'm also going to plant some of these as well. So with the pansies and violas, I had already collected some seeds, and so me ripping them out of the container isn't so much of a big deal to me because I can plant some more for next year. Something else that I've realized is when the soil becomes very difficult to clean out, take all the roots out. I think next time I'm just gonna wind up replacing the whole container with new soil instead of trying to mess with it, because it is difficult and I want to make sure the plants get the best room and soil. I've come to find out that directly sowing seeds outside is something that is really fun and enjoyable. And it was something that I never did before. I would always start my seeds inside and then I would transplant them outside. And so this year I have really changed my perspective about it. So I'll be planting even more sunflower seeds, and I'll have them in the back row of our little tiny raised bed that we have. And I always enjoy to have sunflower seeds because having the sunflowers and the pollen that comes with it is really good, so that I can use that pollen for other plants, and it's really helpful for bees and other pollinators. These are some seeds that I had saved from a previous sunflower plant that I grew, and so we're gonna plant them right here. And I'm gonna be planting more sunflowers back there. I have another kind called Ring of Fire. I'm going to be planting some radishes in this longer container here. Something that I've come to really enjoy is growing radishes. They are really simple and easy. They don't take that long for it to be ready to harvest, and so it's just a great snack to have, or just something that you can add to your meals. And in this container, I'm going to be planting some shellin peas. I think I had tried growing them, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I don't remember what had happened, so I just wanted to grow a couple for fun and just see what happens. So this plant is really weird because the cabbage was first Bolton, going straight to seed, and then it started to grow another cabbage into the ground next to it. I've never seen anything like that before, and it's crazy to see that. So I literally can't even describe to you what this is or what's going on, because the plant that I just ripped off was connected right here, but then this guy is in the ground, like as if he's gonna start growing. And plus there's these little tiny bugs in here. I don't know what they are. They look like centipedes. Hopefully they're not killing my plants. If you know what they are, let me know. But I think this is an actual cabbage plant that's starting to grow. I don't know. I think I might leave it here and just see what happens. I'm going to be planting some kale and spinach inside of this netted raised bed as well. Not really sure what's going to happen. I'm just planting to see as an experiment, and who knows, maybe it will wind up being really good and we'll get a good harvest. I have some gourd seeds that I'm going to be planting for fun, see what happens. Here I am about to plant some gourds, and they might be too late in the season, but I don't really know, and this is something else that I'll be planting for fun. Okay, the last seeds that I have are some parsnips. I'm gonna grow one of them in a container, and some endive, which is a type of lettuce, and I will have these in 2 different containers. I also tried growing some endive earlier this year and I just couldn't get it to grow at all, so I thought maybe let's try it again. I know it enjoys the cooler season, so maybe I'll get lucky with this one. Now I am collecting some Cupid peppers and some glow peppers. The Cupid ones are the red ones and they are very healthy and growing really well. And the orange ones, the glow ones, they are definitely lacking in calcium. I know that is for sure now. And because it's very late in the season, I've decided to just let it do its thing, and next year I will focus on adding the right nutrients to the soil. So I almost forgot to fill up that container over there, so I'm going to be putting some bells of Ireland in there. They are just some flowers. So here are my squash plants, and I'm going to be showing you what I do with the male and female flowers. The male one looks a little bit different. The female one has just one little end to it, while the male has kind of a cluster look to it inside of the flower. And so what I do is I take the female and I put the pollen onto the male, and that is how you get your produce. And the male is the one that has the produce on it. So the end of the flower is what you need to pollinate in order for that to become full. And you have to do the same thing with cucumbers as well. And the only other plants that don't, for example, are like tomatoes and peppers, because they are both male and female, the flower on it, and so they don't need to be pollinated or have a pollinator, some type of bee or insect. And yeah, that's something that I've learned that is very interesting. And now I'll finish up collecting the rest of this harvest. Thank you for coming along with me and planting some seeds for a fall harvest. Hopefully this is inspirational, or maybe you had learned something. So thank you again for watching. See you in the next one.